Um, hey, can you guys hear me? Just want to check up if my mic's working. Alright. Want to check. Okay. Yeah? Okay, so, let's wait. I want to make sure, like, we get a lot of people coming in. So, I'm doing it for oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, but I'm doing it for you guys because I get a lot of questions on how I draw my zones. So, this is not for me, this is for you. Um, okay, so we're gonna wait at least 10 minutes and, let's see. And at the end of, like, this recording, I'm gonna be posting the video's live stream, so it's gonna be, I have to take notes where I start a particular stock because I know it works well for, like, different types of people who just want to get straight to the point. Like me breaking down a ticker. So, I think the first one on the list, we're just gonna start with Apple because that was the one that you guys requested. That was really popular. So I'm just gonna wait, and then we give ourselves some 10 minutes before we kind of start. I'm just gonna pop this out so I don't miss. If you guys have questions, just free ask. So it's gonna be on the sidebar. So if you have questions, I'm gonna get it because it's on my other monitor. So we'll start at 3:10, and then we might go over today since I have 15 charts I want to cover. How did I learn TA? I learned TA by meeting a group of people who traded by zone to zone, and then that has worked out for me in the end. And so, for me, it's a lot easier now because I've been doing it for so long. And another thing is that I joined another group. They gave me this indicator on TradingView, and I still use it to this day. And it helps a lot with my trades because it allows me to stay in longer. But mostly I'm a swing trader. I use the 4-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame, and then I get my entries between the 5 and 15 time frame. Like I said in my previous videos, I always start from the bigger time frame, break it down, and then see where I can go. But the trend is your friend until it's not. When it's not your friend, that's when you have to start thinking about cutting your positions. So you guys can message me on Discord right now because I opened up DMs. You know, if you have like a question, otherwise I'll just answer it on chat. Also, this is my first time going live because on YouTube, I've been going live on Zoom calls. So this is the first for me. I usually, okay. So what book do I recommend for TA? I have a lot of books I read for TA, but the one that I like the most is if you look up Japanese candlestick patterns. Then there's like this book that pops up on Japanese candle patterns. You don't really need to know of like all the patterns, just like a few. If you know like a few, and then you keep like a cheat sheet on candlestick patterns, and you know like, oh, if this is a shooting star doji, you know that's gonna be like not a shooting star candle. Then it's gonna like price action there is gonna reverse. So like, what's a good shooting star right here? I don't see anyone. No one will mislead people too. So I'm not doing Zoom right now. If you're asking like if we're gonna do this weekly Zoom, I plan to do this like maybe two times or 3 times a month, depending on demand, because I will only do these meetings and teachings if I see that the questions I get are redundant. So the candles that I look for and then that are absolutely my favorite are hammers. Um, so let's see if I can find one on Amazon on the 4-hour that's the hammer. If not, I can go on the 1-hour. Actually, this is not Amazon, this is Apple. Okay, so trying to find it on the hourly, seeing if we have any hammers going in. Okay, so this one right here, this one's a hammer already. So this one, I think the amount's the stock split right here. So right here, yeah, I like hammers because that's telling it's a bullish trend. So this is an example of a hammer on the hourly. My strategy is I usually buy out of money options because when I know the trend is really strong, I usually just plan like between like, okay, the expected move of the stock. So I'll go over that in 5 minutes. What does that mean, the expected move? It just allows me that I don't guess, because then I know that the expected move is really defined if I open my TLS account and I just look at the option chain and what the pricing in. I look on the side and look at, okay, if they're pricing in like a 30% IV, and that's like, okay, that's pretty much $27, then I know that like, the stock's gonna move like between there. It's gonna try and move between there, or it's gonna like, the market makers are going to misprice the expected move. So you see that a lot of times when the volatility is not it's gonna start going up, either up or down. So in like Apple's case, it's been like going steadily up. So we can always look up historical IV. Apple, I don't know. I am gonna wait before I talk to Apple in 4 minutes. So I'm gonna talk about this right here in a bit because this is the expected move that was defined as of Friday's close. Okay, and it's pricing in next week. So this is the range I'm looking at. So Apple can, so I just gave approximate, but it's pricing in a $27 move for Apple. So like I just did some math, basic math, and said, okay, can move either $27 or $27 up. So that's how I based it. So I try to get close. It's not the exact number, but if you go to option chain, it's probably close. So I was just saying it's going to be like 527 or 571 around there. I didn't really do the exact math. I just did it approximate. I just put some blue lines there and just to like tell people this is what I'm looking at. And I can also do Fibonacci's if I want to, but I just wanted guys to teach you like how, how I approach this. If I don't know if a stock makes all-time highs, it's always a mystery when a stock makes all-time highs and it keeps going, because you don't know where's the top. You're gonna try to do like Fibonacci's on a stock, but I prefer just using expected move and just try to like go from there, which really helps out, because then sometimes when a stock makes all-time highs, I don't know, and no one knows, and you can't guess that the stock can like burst through the expected move, and that would just cause like all these contracts like from like 550 and above and go to the moon. How do I know if a stock reverse? I don't. I pretty much think, if we tap a particular zone and we have trouble, like let's say, in this zone right here, we had a doji. So every time I see a doji, there's like indecision on this candle. So the stock will retrace. So like if it retraces here, then I'm looking to short on the hour. But if we have a look at it, and if we can just try to draw like a zone. So let's say if I'm drawing a zone right here, so I'm just gonna take my horizontal line, and then I'm gonna draw right here and here, because this is where we had buyers. So if we look at this, okay, so right here, we tapped this area right here, and it was a resistance, because then what the stock did, it gapped up. You see this gap right here? It gapped up, it tried to fill it, but it never filled. So what I did was like I just marked this area as a resistance, and so when we tap this area right here, and then we tap, and finally we broke out, that would be a decision for me to go long, because when we've tapped 3 times on our really strong support, like right here in this area between 441 and 445, I would just take that long. Okay, so it's 3:10. I'm gonna start. I think I already started, so let's just start. Okay, so Apple. I got some lines already in Apple. I think it was because trying to trade Apple, but we can just go over it again. So how did I get these areas? So the same thing I was saying earlier. We tapped this candle and then we sold off. We tried to break here, but we didn't, and we just sold off again. And we sold off into this area of support. Then this box right here, this yellow zone, you couldn't have seen like, okay, we tapped right here. Should this be an idea to go long? Well, I would probably just wait a bit, because then you're not sure. So I'm using an hourly chart, but you just want to check like, okay, this area was a lot of ranging for a couple from the 3rd to the 4th. So that means that, if we tap this area, we might have buyers. But for me to take it, I want to see like, you know, if my indicator fires this green arrow on the hourly. But if we look at the 15-minute, see, I'm kind of trying to go back. So if we enter this area as a doji, I think it was a doji, but in this area right here, we tap this area, and then it looks like we had buyers here. So this caused the stock to move higher. That would be a nice trade, because if you decide to wait like 15 minutes to let these candles complete, and then we tapped off right here and we flagged, your entry would have been like right here, because then you would realize, okay, we're tapping right here, but we're not selling off. So let's see. I did not get to choose $27. That is the market maker who chose that number. So this range right here, I did not get to choose that. You can look that up on Thinkorswim, and then you can pull it out on your phone if you have Thinkorswim. I did not choose that number. So if you're asking me like, okay, where will Apple go from here? So I'm just gonna. So I don't know. I would probably just do like the Fibonacci's. I think I have some Fibonacci's that I have already to just help me guide me, like where will Apple go. So a 500, you know, the levels that are really important in a stock is like, you know, whole numbers like 500, 525, 550, 575. Those numbers, the quarter numbers, are really important because they act like magnets of where stocks might want to go, and people just imagine that's a good number. So imagine there, and then it will help you. So the Fibonacci's that I drew it from where we had a lot of areas of consolidation. I think I drew this here, and then I was just doing a projection because we had a lot of areas of consolidation, and I think I was trying to trade Apple around here. So this is a really old projection that I did not touch. So it looks like we did reach that point. We're near it. So that really helps, you know, guide me in trying to draw a new area. So I'm since Apple, I think if I look at the ATR, we're gonna look on Fizz and Viz and try to look up how much Apple can move in a day. Because I don't know how a stock can move in a day. Because I look at 500 tickers and I try to narrow it down. Sometimes I just look it up. Okay, so Apple can move $12 in a day. So if I do like some math, so I'm only doing closing price. I'm not counting after hours. So let's just get rid of after hours. So it'd be a lot cleaner for you guys. So we ended the day around 497.40. So I'm gonna add $12. So I'm just gonna use a whole number because it's easier for me. So I'm just gonna round it down. So for 509. So I'm gonna try to do this. So 509 right here, I'll target there. And then $5 down, $12 down. So let's make that 585. It's 585. Okay. And then if we kind of like go back, we back it up with this. This makes it a lot better because then you can see like, okay, we just we were just there, so to tap this area, and that really helps out with visualization of this flag pattern. But new highs are really hard for me because that's when I have to use Fibonacci's just to get this round. But this, if you're trading Apple, pay attention to the expected move because you can get, if you get too far out of money, you run a risk of your contracts having time decay. So that's something I'd be aware of until you see your contract IV expands and expected move. The market makers have mispriced the option, then you're okay. So the next ticker that I'm going over is Microsoft. So Microsoft new. So I'm just same thing. So I did this yesterday, trying to help you guys visualize the expected move for this week. So these horizontal lines right here are just the expected move for this week. So we're looking at Microsoft, touching 219 and either 206, somewhere around there. So what I like to do, when I'm charting, I like to look at the daily chart and then check it out. So I have this area right here. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line here. And then I'm going to draw right here as a zone. So that's my first zone I draw. So why I drew the zone right here is because we had a lot of resistance. I mean, we gapped up here, but we consolidated and we sold off. But in this part right here, where I see it, there's a lot of support right here that we built up. Because here we touched right here, and then we rejected. We did it again, and we just made this. I think that's a. I'm trying to find what type of candle that is because I have a hammer cheat sheet. I don't know what type of candle that is, but it's a bullish candle. And then right here, we went above it. So let's go back if we can find it. Looks like, Microsoft hasn't been here for a while. I mean, this is kind of new, so still working with the zones for these. But we know that right here we built up some other support too. So then we consolidated in this area before we pushed up. So just looking at this, we can establish this is a zone as well because there's a lot of candles and a lot of support built around here. So what I would do, I'll go ahead and mark this as a yellow zone, and a yellow zone to me is a demand zone. So we had a lot of demand in this area right here, and what happened is that on the daily, we pushed up. So that explains this part right here. We also got rejected right here at 216. So, I think Friday we had a weird day where all the stocks were doing that, but I don't really care. I just look at what we're pricing in the zones. So we pushed up right here. This was a resistance. I have resistance here. I mean, I could just scooch it down and then say, okay, right there, resistance, resistance, resistance. And then we tap right here. You could exit right there too at 215, 70. So this is so when I'm looking at this right now, I'm looking at, okay, so market fundamentals right now is bullish. I'm looking to take it long. I'm gonna buy the dip. So when I'm thinking about buying a dip, I'm thinking about, okay, well, I added on to my Microsoft position at close because I knew that we were holding this level right here, this area right here, and we were holding it very well. And what happened after, if I turn on after hours, we did gap up our Microsoft, and that was a sign that this stock had more juice to go. Monday, I'm looking to target about maybe like this upper area. So I'm gonna draw it out right here, and then this is gonna be my take profit area. So I'm gonna take profit around this area, and you kind of notice I kind of make them tiny because then I really want to hit those price targets that I have in my head, and so I'm just trying to base it off the information I have without guessing and not be biased about using where psychology or anything. I'm just basing it off, support, basic sort of resistance, and drawing where we had trouble and where people might continue to buy Microsoft. So I usually do like purple as a supply zone. So that's it for like how I would draw it for Microsoft. But I'm gonna take questions here and just answer. So let's see. So we have a question from Stella Co. Why does tap three times mean bullish? So when we tap like 3 times, so it's usually there's a lot of people who are ready to sell, and it's sometimes when the stock makes new all-time highs, there's also sellers who want to take profit. So let's say like if you were in Microsoft and you were in a short trade, you were actually looking to areas where you could sell like whole numbers, like what I'm saying, like numbers like 225, 250, or I don't know, 300. Yeah, like increments of 5. It's something that people psychologically think like, okay, well, I'm gonna take profit here, and it's a good idea to take profit, take partials and whatnot. So third tap that I look for is like because we have 3 taps. It's coming at really strong resistance. So when we go for 3 taps, that is a case where you could take long. And if it doesn't and we break down on the 4th time we try to break it, then that means a short position. So like let's go back to Chewy. So I drew this out. I knew right here we tapped this area, so we had a lot of resistance right here on Chewy, like 1, 2, 3. And then we consolidate. This is what you want to look for. You want to take a pattern long. And also right here, we have a lot of support. So this one right here, so the first time we went here, we rejected and we went into this area right here. We found buyers here, and then we consolidated. We tried to push up, but we couldn't, and then we sold off, and look what happened right here. Buyers were still here and loading up their positions for Chewy. And then the 3rd time we tried, sellers were here, and we got rejected. Buyers were here again, they took on their positions, and then they took it on more times. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4 times that the stock has been in this area. So yeah, that's the confirmation for me to take it long. And so my indicator right here told me to go fired green on this trade, and I made like a good profit. And then I didn't really project, but I knew that right here was an area on August 4th we had trouble, and then we just retraced, and I sold my position probably like right here, and then I saw that we were making this area, and we're back in this area right here where we had trouble. So basically I took a position right here on this candle as confirmation, because I knew that 51 and 52 area is a strong support, and we have buyers there. So right now Chewy's kind of making this cup thingy. So we're just consolidating right here. So let's see. I hope that answers your question, Stella. I just want to clarify. If not, I can go back and you can just DM me, or you just go on Twitter and message me. I can explain more. Another question. So TradingPal, I don't know who your broker is, but I can screenshot. I can just post like on TLOS what I see as expected move later on, or you can just like send me a DM and I can show you like where I find it. Because I know like there's other brokers that show you it. I think Tasty Work shows you the expected move. And then I don't know about E-Trades. I have E-Trades, but it only shows me IV, so. Yeah, so I think Chewy's a cup and handle situation. I don't know. I don't like labeling things. I just know this was a nice little cup I drew for fun. But if I wanted to add on my position, so I'm thinking of adding on to my position because we ended it with this this really skinny ass, what is it called? Dragonfly doji? I don't know. But I know that we ended up in this zone right here, and that's confirmation for me to add on to my position because I know that we might break to upside by earnings. And this is my final price target for Dewey. Okay, so let's go back in order. I just want to stray for a bit, I'm going in the order that I received all the tickers you guys want me to go over to. So let's go over Amazon real quick because I know you guys are. That was the second popular question besides Apple on the first question. I asked you guys like, okay, what you guys want me to go over, and you said Amazon, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go Amazon after Microsoft. So what I'm looking here, I'm looking for a long position because we're actually in this zone right here, and looking back, you're actually holding pretty well. So what I would target, I would target maybe up here. So expected move for Amazon for this week, I did some math for you guys so you don't have to do it. 34.23 and 14 for us 31.46. There we go. So probably if I want to take this long, I probably would want to see if we touch this area, because this was a really strong resistance. Because this is the first time we made all-time highs for Amazon. So we're touching right here and we're holding this level. So I just want to like see if we kind of go up, like maybe right here, like 32.92. If I take it long, and then I'll hold my position until we get our price target, maybe around above right here. So I just want to see Amazon make all-time highs. And this one is, I got it for this week, actually, this trading week. And all these blue lines I'm showing you right now, you can find it because they're all in the same week. That's what the market makers are pricing in. So next one I'm going over is VMware. So, I spelled it wrong. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Okay, so I kind of marked this up. So how I drew this. So I started with this area right here. So I pretty much went back and I saw this area where we kind of had a lot of buyers right here. So when we tap this area right here, so, you know, if we're looking back, this area we had a lot of support, and this was also a resistance area. So let's just turn off extended hours. Just looking back, so like in 2018, this was a area we have a lot of buyers, and also there's a lot of resistance too before we kind of pushed up. So right now we're in the same area that we are with VMware. So if I drew a trend line, and right now the EMA, so I think I said this before, but my EMAs are the 8, 20, 50, and 200. So the 8 is in yellow, and the purple's in, that's 20, and green is 50, and red is 200. So right now we're in a bearish trend because we have the EMAs, the 200 and the 50 are above each other. So it's pretty much that it kind of made this depth cross. So right now I'm looking for consolidation for Chewy. So if I drew a trend line, really biased trend line, I would just say, okay, so if I'm taking this long or I'm shorting this, I want the stock to break out above this area, and we kind of like hit this area right here, so maybe like 140 before I take it long. And I want it to hold right there, and then we want to go into this area right here, and then we tap out. If I want to short this, what I want the stock to do is we want to hover around this 137 area, and then we break down into this magenta purple zone. So that's what I would do for this trade if I were to take this. But they also have earnings, so earnings are a coin toss, so I don't know if they're going to beat earnings. So next stock is Intel. So Intel, I know many of you guys are probably in Intel leaps. So what I'm looking at right here is a lot of rejection. So this one is a really strong zone for me. So right now, this area right here, just looking at it without extended hours on, I wouldn't really want this one to consolidate more, because we could either break down or break up. And the price target that I would be aiming for if I'm swing trading this one, I would tap this purple zone right here. So 50 to 52, 50, 75 to 52. I'll tap there. And then I really want this to consolidate longer and build up more support. I know this is a really strong support, just looking back historically in the chart on the 4-hour. And you can also look at the daily that this is a really strong area that we have buyers. So I'm not really bullshitting. So I know there was buyers. This was an old resistance in 2018. So Intel sold off right here, had buyers there, came back up, did the same thing, and it's been oscillating up and down in these areas. So nothing has changed on these charts. You just know that there's going to be buyers in particular areas that they trigger their buy price. So let's just go over, break down the 4-hour, because I only break down the 4-hour. So right now we're hovering in this area. So if you want to take this long, if you want to be safe, this candle right here is a really strong rejection candle. So I would take that trade if we're touching 50, because look at how many times we tapped this area after the earnings was pretty okay, lackluster. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So might be consolidating more if we can't break above 50. That's where I'll be looking to take it long. Until then, I'm not going to be looking at Intel until it breaks 50. It's a good long-term hold if you want to buy stock. But if I wanted to short this, then yeah, I drew this trend line right here just to help me out. So if I wanted to take this long. I wanted to break a below 48. So let's just draw it out. This area right here is pretty strong as is support. So if we look at right here, how many times we have touch right here and we bounced off. So we look at 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 4, 5 times already. So if we break right here, just short it to the next zone. The key zone is right here, is where we tapped. We found buyers, and it's a 48 to 40. What's this one? 47.22 area. That's where you want to short the stock and cover. Next one is LCA. I don't even know this stock, but okay. So I would be bearish below if it breaks this zone, this purple zone, because we have a lot of resistance right here. So here's a lot of resistance. And then I would cover to this area right here. And if not, if we break and you want a long position, wait until we break resistance above $15 a whole number, or $15.25 as like a quarter number, so you can be safe to take it to the next level, which I see if you want to cover profits or take profits at between 16 and 17. So that's where I would take profit. So because this is a really strong area right here, and look at how many times we tapped right here and we failed to break out. So that's what I would do if I'm taking a position in this stock. Another one, the next one I'm going over is JD. This was requested by Robert. Okay, so JD made a new high, same procedure. I actually did not look up the expected move for JD, so I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to tell you guys. I'm just going to go on my phone and look it up real quick. So JD is actually pricing in for this week $3.52. So JD can move at least $2 a day. So just looking at that, we can probably, so JD ended up at 75.33 cents. So we can probably target this area if you're long on JD. So this area would be a really good take profit for this area. And either if JD sells off, we can find some minor supports. So let's see, this one would be a minor support right here, and this area right here, or maybe we can expand it, maybe like right there. But let me go to the 1 hour chart because I can't tell if I just do 4 hour. Okay, yeah, so on this candle right here, we just rejected and went into this area where we found buyers. We also have this flag area, bull flag area that we did the day after earnings. So this is acting as a minor support. So this is still a long position for me for JD if I were to trade this. One thing I'm paying attention to, if we want to break into this purple zone right here and take profit. This is a good trade. It had a good run, but it's a bit overextended. And usually when things are overextended, it might could pull back. Okay, so next one I'm going over is VIRT. So this chart is okay. So looking at the EMMAs right now on the 1 hour time frame, it has made the golden cross, so it's pretty much the green is above the 200. So red, green above red, that's bullish. And also looking at right here, looking here and here, this is the area that we had a lot of resistance, and now it has turned into support. So this would be like a bull flag case. And what I would like for the stock to do is maybe we can consolidate more, and then we push up into this purple zone. So let's look at the 4-hour to confirm. So right now, this needs to catch up. The 4-hour is saying, okay, we made the 50 and the 20 has crossed. So has the 8 on these leading time frames. But it's just that the 200 and the 50 haven't crossed yet. So this is lagging. So eventually, if we get more volume in this ticker, I can imagine that we're going to be pushing up to this area and into 26. But again, with when I trade banks, I really look at the bond yields, because that's just what I use to as an indicator when I should take banks long or banks short positions. So yeah, those are my profit targets. And anytime you can see like a purple or red one, that's like clear sign that you could take profits here, or you can continue on with your position. Next one is MRNA. Oh, keep spelling things wrong. Okay, so MRNA. So MRNA has been in a downtrend for a while. So if you're short on MRNA and you want to cover this blue zone right here, would be a good profit taking, because now we're at support, because we have a lot of buyers right here who are buying MRNA shares. So they're waiting to load up again in this area. So it's between 61 and 64. That'll be a good buying opportunity for MRNA. If that breaks, then we have this area right here, 50 and 53, I guess 55, around there. Let's move it up more. So around there would be a good buying area. But if you think that the stock has more juice to go up, then I would wait, because then this one is being shorted, and you want to wait till we finally have volume. Because if you look at the volume right now, it's really a lot of sell side activity. Because if you look at this one big volume candle, it's a red candle. And also we have like all the 50, 20, and 8 EMAs crossing over on a 4-hour. And if we look at the 1-hour, there is a depth cross on the 1-hour that is telling me that this stock is being shorted. So this is a good price to cover your position. I would not take this long yet until the 1-hour shows that the trend has changed to the upside. So next one I'll be covering is J&J. It's just actually my favorite stock. So J&J, this is a consolidation breakout. So what I mean, this is probably another good example of how many taps a stock can do. Look how many times a stock has tapped on the 4-hour just to make this consolidation move up. And sometimes you can zoom out to the weekly, and you can tell, okay, this stock has been struggling right here in this area, and we finally broke out. So I'm looking to, if I were to trade J&J, I would take a long position, and my price target would be like right here, or maybe like a whole number if I'm swing trading this. I'll probably do like 160 as a price target. And also one thing I like is that my indicator fire green. So my delay indicator fire green, so that's telling me I should take it long on the weekly. So if we zoom out to the daily time frame, same thing. Can take it long. Just keep in mind your price targets. Be aware of this candle right here, because this we had a lot of resistance, and it kind of made these abandoned baby candles, or whatever candles you call them. But I would just say, like, this zone right here got shorted. Let's just draw that just in case to remind people, and I guess I'll post these charts up as a link, sort of reference. So the next one would be NIO. I know you guys are in NIO. I'm in NIO right now. So same chart. Have not changed anything, but looking here, on the 4 hour is still telling me bullish. And the reason why it's still bullish, is because right here, we're left with this doji, but we're still in this zone right here. This zone right here, we have not dipped into this area. We did do that. That was buy to dip. And what would we do when we try to touch this area where we have buyers right here? This was resistance before, because we had a lot of trouble trying to like break out. And so what happened after we touched this area right here, this was now support. So this zone right here was a lot of resistance, because then we had sellers here trying to take profits. Anytime we had that, we gapped up, and then we sold off. So a really big resistance right now for NIO is this first price target I have. If we can get over that, then the next one I'm targeting is $15. NIO can easily move like 10% a day, like 7 to 10%. So just be aware of that, how it can move. Always be aware of how much a stock can move in a day, and you can just look that up in FinViz. Because I don't know, I look up everything, and it's all depending what the market gives you. Tesla, I don't know. So we could pull back on Tesla, or we could go even more parabolic, maybe 2,500. Dips don't work on Tesla, because then, I don't know, it's a stock that surprises a lot of people. Okay, so if I wanted to take profits, maybe I'll do it here, and then I wait for a pullback. And then if I wait for a pullback, I would want Tesla to enter in this first yellow zone right here, and then I would take that long. It'd be nice for Tesla to consolidate from here, because that would give time to people to get out and let the RSI to consolidate, or whatever indicator you use. But I know, like, if we consolidate here, this might be a base for Tesla to go higher. And I don't have any price targets for Tesla, because I don't know how to trade Tesla very well. I have to learn after the stock split, but not right now, because I'm still waiting for the stock split to learn how to do this stock. Okay, so next one on the list is Plug. Someone requested this one. I have to go back on the monthly charts, and what I found out about this stock is that this stock had a lot of stock splits, so it's really tough just to give a price target. Because I had to use my monthly. I had to use the monthly to figure out, okay, what's a good price target. So what I found is that we had a lot of resistance right here at this area. So I think that the stock is going to retrace. So, you know, if you're shorting this, maybe take profit around here, this $11, $23, and $12 area. We'll see how this one plays out. Just keep it on watch. But if we break above 14.56 and look for the next price target on the monthly, this chart's kind of gnarly. Next one, the AMD. And if you guys have any questions or you want me to stop and pause, go ahead, because I might be talking too fast. So AMD, so right now it's kind of bullish. Just let's look at the 4-hour right now. So DLA Sniper expired green on the 4-hour, and look where we landed. We ended inside this zone right here. So that's confirmation for me to take AMD long, and then my price target would be like the top of the zone, just to be conservative. So that's a really good move for AMD, because AMD can move like, how much they can move? They can move like $3.52 a day. So that's a pretty good for AMD. We can actually touch that easily. So I'll probably like look to take profits on the upper range of the zone as just confirmation for me to like remind myself, okay, I'm at my max profit, I've reached my target price. I always want to take profits when I need it. So if we want to short this, well, there's a lot of room for AMD to retrace and kind of like retouch and fill these gaps right here. So if I look at this, let's just draw it in a different color. Just use teal. So we have a lot of gaps to fill on AMD. So we have gap number 1 in teal, and our gap in teal. So this area right here, I mean, you could short AMD and there'll be a lot of room for AMD to like sell off to this area and then just take it long there. Cause like I know maybe like there's no one buying up here, or there's people who are waiting down here to really buy AMD, because they really want, if they miss their chance to buy AMD here, then they're gonna try to like get closer and aim for right in this area right here. So that's like between 70 and 74. So the last one is SPY. So I actually did the expected move thing again. So right now we're set, the market is set to go higher. And we're still in a bullish uptrend. So if we consolidate or push up, so at most we might see SPY new highs at 342 or 341, being conservative right here. We might see, we might touch to 345, but that is like a pretty big move. That's a 50-point move on ES, I think. But that's a pretty big move, and we hadn't had any red days so far. It'd be nice if we had a red day. We just pull back and of a dip by, and if I wanted to do like a dip by, I just look for 330 or 332, and I'll go long there. So I have a lot of zones. I drew them a long time ago. They're probably most hard to explain because they're still using all the rules I kind of laid out in my first video I made about how did I draw them. I just go from the monthly, weekly, and daily charts, and sometimes I do like intraday if I'm trading as different colors, but usually like what I tell people is just pay attention to the boxes and that your price target. I had great success doing that. I'm trying to teach people how to do these things. But let's just draw like a zone right here. I'm just gonna see. I don't know if it's gonna hit, basically. Maybe we might hit here as a target, so let's just be conservative. So I just drew a box from here, 340.51 to 342.66. So those arrows, I pay. So I just had a question. So how can you get those red or green bar indicators? I pay for them. It's worth it for me. There's a link in my Twitter if you're interested in joining the program. I use this a lot in my trades as confirmation of what I'm thinking, and it helps me stay in the trade longer and become a better trader and not take profits early, because that was the problem when I started. I took profits early and then I had regrets, and I jumped back in and I lost, and so this kind of helps. So I hope you guys learned anything. So I did 2 examples. If you guys have like questions or anything, like you can hit me up on Twitter, show me your chart, and I can like tell you like what you can improve and like what can you work on. So like anything that you're confused on how to do technical analysis, I'll be around to answer questions. Yeah, TradingView is free. So I'm gonna stay around, and if you guys have any other questions about, I probably can do like other tickers if you want. Just other questions. Would NIO break out this week? Well, if we get enough volume, that's important. That's why I've been saying about volume earlier, that your stock options don't move the stock. It's the stock itself that moves the stock. If the algos are trying to train right now, like if they see a lot of call buying, then they can move the stock that way by buying equities. These hedge funds have robots that do it for them, so that's what I'm saying. You just have to pay attention to volume. So I don't use any other indicators besides my Emma on TradingViews and my DOA sniper. So this is all I use for confirmation and trading. Any other questions? I'm happy to take it offline so I can do some editing and just post where I just cover these stocks. That's about it. Thanks guys for attending today's class. I might do more if you guys want me to. So Drew, it's a paid program that I'm in right now. I pay for it. So I'm also a moderator for it, and I make call outs on things that I show up, and I get alerts. So why J King? You want me to go break down Roku? Okay, so same pattern we saw earlier, this consolidation. So Roku is really holding right now as a strong support. You know, every time we tapped right here, we bounced. So I don't know if we can break out, but if we break out, I want to look to break out over 150. So 150, 150, I'll take it long here. Because right now, I don't know what Roku's doing. I can look, like right now, like the 4-hour time frame looks bullish still, but if I break it down to hourly, it just looks like it wants to break down, so this looks like a short. So if we short this, we always want to look back where we had a lot of support. Let's see, Roku. I don't know how much Roku can move in a day. $6, $7. Let's just put $7. $7. So let's do 1, 2. Okay, so here and here. Because that was where we sold off last time. We gapped up. We're kind of making this island. So if we kind of like break down, look for like this area right here, because there's still a lot of meat on the bones for Roku if you want to short it. Or if not, you're bullish on Roku, wait until 150 if it breaks. So if we break 150, that's a trend change right there. You could take a high to maybe targeting Roku 155, 156, 158, 75. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna stop the video now. So, you guys have questions? Just shoot me a DM. My DMs are open right now.